Brewmaster here with another great ale review. Excuse me, I still have a bit of a cold, sore throat, so if I cough a little, I apologize. Tonight I have something pretty special for you. This is by Harpoon Brewing. Now they have two breweries. One is in Boston, Massachusetts, and the other is in Windsor, Vermont. I believe this one comes out of Boston. It is the Harpoon Czernobog. It is a Russian Imperial Stout. It comes in at 10% ABV by volume. Harpoon Czernobog is our tribute to the hardy English stouts brewed to endure the journey across the frigid Baltic to the Russian Imperial Court. This one is a 2014, so I would say it's probably 6 months old. A little aging, not a lot, but a little bit. This Russian Imperial Stout will withstand the darkest winters with notes of unsweetened chocolate, dark fruit, molasses, and molasses. Embrace the darkness. Now I'll read you a little bit from the back of the bottle, the story of Czernobog. Named after the ancient god of darkness, Czernobog was the last beer we made in our Leviathan series, and one of our favorites, so we stashed a few bottles in the cellar. As winter approached, we noticed our supply had dwindled and we knew it was time to go back to the brewhouse to resurrect the darkness. With powerful notes of unsweetened chocolate, dark fruit, and molasses, it's our pleasure to reintroduce this Russian Imperial Stout. Embrace the darkness. So most of you will probably be familiar with Harpoon. They're one of my favorite breweries. They make a lot of really good stuff. I don't see a lot of them here like I wish I did, but I get any that I do see usually. Let's go ahead and get a pour on this one and see what it looks like. An interesting fact, Harpoon has went through a lot of changes. It was, I forget the three guys' names, but it was originally created by three friends who had gotten into brewing and beer, and then they went to Europe together and went to a bunch of monasteries and a bunch of and they experienced a bunch of the old school brewing traditions of Europe, and they decided they wanted to bring some of that back to America. So they came back, and in 1986, I believe. Let me check and make sure. But I believe it was 1986. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, in 1986, they came back and they started the Harpoon Brewery. Well, actually, see, I guess in 1986 they went to Europe. In 1987, a warehouse space on the Boston waterfront was transformed into the brewery, and the first Harpoon Ale was brewed. So 1987. Something that is a good fact. A lot has changed over the years, but one of the most major things, in 2014, Harpoon became an employee-owned company. What that usually means is all the employees own the stock. That is the company. So that's pretty awesome. You don't see that a lot, and I like that, because I think it'll be hard for a large brewery to come in and try to buy them out, because you'll have to get them all to agree, and you'll never get that many craft beer enthusiasts to agree upon selling. So that's awesome. I think that gives them some security from like some sort of a buyout or something, and I like that a lot. I'm tired of all these really fantastic craft breweries getting bought out. I'm not saying anything about traditional lagers brewed by American breweries. They have their place, but I think they feel threatened a lot of times by these craft breweries and the amount of sales that they're getting these days, and so they are taking a kind of a somewhat, in my opinion, devious path in trying to buy up some of these craft breweries, while at the same time as making commercials that make fun of craft breweries, even though they own some. You know, it's, I don't know. It just seems kind of devious, and I don't know, the dark side of beer, and I don't like it. So let's go ahead and get a pour on this one and see what it looks like. If you guys have any opinions on some of the really large breweries acquiring some of these smaller craft breweries, put your comments in the box below. If you think the beers taste different after they're bought by them, or if you think they taste the same and there's not really much of a difference, leave those comments in the box below. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. Let's start a discussion. Alright, this one pours a just motor oil black. Old, dirty motor oil, just black. It's got a solid one finger of a very dark mocha head, really creamy. Seems to be fairly carbonated, but not hugely, as is for the style. You know, it shouldn't be too carbonated. I poured pretty aggressively, and I only got one finger, so it seems to be very creamy head though. And there's just no light showing through. I have some pretty bright lights in here, and I see nothing, no traces. Sometimes, a lot of times, you'll see a little bit of amber along the bottom or side. This has none of that. Black. Let's get a nose, see what it smells like. Oh wow, dark roasted malt. Molasses, a lot of molasses. Some dark bittersweet chocolate. Maybe a little bit of dark fruit. A little bit of a fig. Maybe some dates. But mainly you just get that caramelized sugar, molasses, very dark roasty malt. A little bit of coffee. Some espresso or something in there. A little bit of vanilla bean, maybe, even. Just a slight amount of vanilla, a slight, like, bourbon kind of a scent. I don't know if they aged this in oak or something. I mean, it doesn't say so I'm going to assume not, but it has that sort of an oaky aged smell to it. Let's get a taste and see if it matches up. Well, it's a nice, fairly heavy mouthfeel. Thick, really creamy. Lots of that dark roasted bite right at the beginning. I get a lot of vanilla. A lot of like a nice vanilla bean. A lot of bitter coffee. Like really dark roast coffee. A little bit of that sweet from like a molasses kind of taste comes through, but not a lot. This is a very smooth, very complex Russian Imperial. This is one I'll probably have to sit for a while. Not a lot of the alcohol comes through, but it does have a very decent and for me desired warming effect going down. It's not a lot in the taste really, but you can feel it going down. It's very smooth. I hadn't tried this before, and the store is pretty near where I got this from. I'm definitely going to have to get another one of these. This is fantastic. Very good. Lots of vanilla, some molasses, very heavy dark roasted malt, very dark bread, somewhat sweet, just a little sweet, really bitter dark chocolate, very tasty and desirable Russian Imperial Stout. This is honestly one of the best Russian Imperials I've ever had. Very nice. I would love to see one of these aged for 2 or 3 years. I bet that vanilla would come out so much. It's so smooth. Well, that's it, guys. If you can get a hold of Czernobog and you like a Russian Imperial Stout, go ahead and pick one of these up. This is delicious. I've been forgetting to rate some of my beers lately, and I'm sorry about that, guys. Maybe I'll go back in and put some ratings in the comments for any that I can clearly remember. This one, I'm going to have to, for style, for Russian Imperial, I would have to, I don't know, I'd have to go a little higher than Rate Beer. Rate Beer only gave it a 56 for style, which I don't understand. I would have to go 95, 96 for style, and probably an overall rating of 94, I would have to say. Very good Russian Imperial Stout. I think, honestly, the only Russian Imperial Stout that I have ever had that was better was by Stone. Their Stone Russian Imperial Stout. I mean, I've had a lot of them, too. I really enjoy an Imperial Stout, especially a Russian Imperial Stout, and this is a cut above the rest for almost anything. Like I said, except for the Stone. It's my favorite, but this is very tasty. Beer Advocate gave it a 90% overall. Rate Beer gave it 96% with a 56 for style. So, I mean, pretty good ratings except for that style. I don't understand why they gave it such a low rating for style. I think it is on point to style pretty much exactly. Everyone's taste differs, I guess, but delicious, guys. Really, if you can get a hold of this or any of the other offerings from Harpoon, I would definitely suggest them. They're a pretty old craft brewery, and they've been doing this a long time. Got 2 breweries now. They are employee-owned. They're looking pretty bright, and I hope that they stay successful because I want to see a lot of good things come from them. I know they will. If they stick around, there will be a lot of great beers that come from them. So, cheers to that. Good luck, Harpoon. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for making this delicious Russian Imperial Stout. Good night, guys.